Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to Data with Arul YouTube channel. So today we are going to see about a private GPT stuff. So the thing is like what we are going to do is we are going to create a clone kind of stuff similar to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT itself is a biggest stuff, so it is having lot of knowledge and lot of information, lot of data which is getting processed through multi data sets. So we are not going to replicate the exact same stuff, but what we are going to do is we are going to build a local GPT stuff. So here what we are going to do is we are going to give a Bible dataset. So basically it will be in a text file. So using this, we will be on top of this, we will be running the machine learning model, and we will have the prompts. Okay, so this is the plan is. So for this local GPT stuff, I am going to use the repository called Private GPT. So Private GPT is a GitHub repository, and in this Private GPT, if we see like they are already telling that they are trying to use the large language models. LLM is nothing but large language model. Okay, so here for that large language model, we are not going to use any internet connection, like we are going to completely use it in private. So the thing is, machine learning itself is a huge computational stuff. So on that, how we are going to do that, we will see this today. Okay, so this private GPT is built on LangChain, GPT-4, LlamaCpp, and then Chroma, and then SentenceTransformers. So LangChain is nothing but this is a Python stuff. So if you see here, okay, so this is used to process the large language models. Okay, so this is how it works. So if we want to install LangChain, we can use this command pip install LangChain. So large language models are emerging as a transformative technology. So using this, we are processing the large language models. Okay, so for this we will be using, like, this particular repository is using LangChain, and then GPT for all. GPT for all is having all the models which were predefined already. So if you go to GPT for all, so GPT for all is a free to use locally running privacy aware chatbot likewise. So means that it don't need any GPU or heavy intrinsic stuff inside your machine. Okay, so these are all the language models which is part of the GPT for all. Okay, so out of that, this text DaVinci 003, so this is the exact chat GPT model which we cannot download. This is not publicly available because this model itself is 800 GB. So these models are like, this is somewhat similar to this, but not exactly. It will have the processing capability of chat GPT. Okay, because chat GPT ecosystem itself is a bigger stuff. So here if you see, when they are comparing the scores of benchmarks, okay, so if we see these are the different models of GPT for all. So in this, actually this is the highest stuff. So this is called GPT for all 13B Snoozy. This alone is like a huge data set, like 4.5 GB or 5 GB, which we need to download and we need to use. Okay, so for our demo purpose, what I took was where is that, yeah, this one I took because this is having a lot of benchmark, somewhat better benchmarks when comparing to other data sets. So I am taking this Mosaic MPT instruct. So this Mosaic MPT instruct, this data set was built by a team called Mosaic AI. Okay, so this Mosaic AI, they have created this data set and they made it available for free. So this model itself is available for free. So this model is nothing but this is a machine learning model. So there we have all the set of instructions and how the prediction, and then how we can play with the algorithms. So those kind of things will be stored predefined. Okay, so this is like in a kind of a binary format, so we can download the bin file and we can use it in our programs. Okay, so let's see that later on in this tutorial. Okay, so this is Mosaic MPT instruct. This is having very good score. So how we can download this Mosaic MPT4 is like yeah, this is the model. This is the model name for this ggml-mpt-7b- so we are going to use two models. So I have used two models here. I have used Groovy as well as I have used the instruct also. I will be showing you both the things. Okay, this is GPT for all, and then this is MPT. MPT is like, as we see this, Mosaic GPT. Okay, Mosaic AI. Okay, so these are all the tools, and apart from that, like we have this LlamaCpp. So it is nothing but this is a part of Meta's library, Meta's AI library. So that is also for large language model. So this library is called large language model Meta AI. That is the abbreviation for this LLAMA. Okay, so large language model Meta AI. So this one also has some Python library. So based on using this, we will be like we will use this to have this model processing and machine learning kind of activity with the AI. So for that they are using this. We are not going to use this, like they have already used this in the code. We are going to leverage the power whatever they have using it through this code. The same thing we are going to use for ourselves also. Okay, the same way we have something called Chroma. So Chroma is nothing but this is like a kind of a local database creator. Okay, so like if we have a big text file, it will break down the text file and it will create a local data sets, and it will provide some embeddings also. These are all are part of this large language model stuff. Okay, so if we study machine learning, then we will come to know like what is embedding, or whatever, how we are processing these documents. Okay, so all these things will be coming into picture. Okay, so the very next thing is sentence transformers. So sentence transformers is also part of this GPT stuff. Okay, so this one will be used for the linguistic stuff like textual similar, semantic search. So all these things they will be using it. Okay, so this is how this sentence transformer work. Okay, so as we see earlier, GPT is nothing but generative pre-trained transformer. So we are going to chat GPT is nothing but chat generative pre-trained text transformer. The current version of chat GPT is GPT-3. So GPT-3 itself is like kind of some 800 GB dataset machine learning model stuff. So that machine learning model only, see here they are telling, right, requiring 800 GB to store. So this is mainly running on like as we see in this text DaVinci 003. So this is the machine learning model they are using. So we are not going to use this because this is highly resource intensive and we cannot run it through our local machines. So instead of that, we are going to simulate the same kind of stuff using some other model, but the accuracy might be somewhat like it's not exactly same like how ChatGPT is performing. This is like a kind of a fun stuff we can play around, so that we will learn how that exact technology, how it is working. Okay, so for that understanding only we are going to use this stuff. Okay, okay, let's move on to see like how our project is getting set up. Okay, so the very first thing is we need to download this private GPT from this GitHub repository. Download the zip file and once we download the zip file, we need to import it into our Visual Studio Code. Okay, so this is how the very first time, if you see, this is how the entire private GPT files will be looking like. Okay, but it won't contain this text bible, and it won't contain this env file. This env file is in some other name, like they alone instructed here. If you see here, like yeah, here if you see, there is a file called example.env here. This one we need to rename it into .env. Okay, so this is nothing but this is the environmental file where we need to mention what model type, persist directory, model path, all these informations, whatever is there. Okay, that is already there. So on top of that, if we need to have some changes, we can use it. Okay, so the default large language model dataset, what they are using is, they are using this GPT for all groovy stuff. Okay, so we are not going to use this GPT for all groovy because this is not having that much level of accuracy. I have tested it, so we are going to use some other dataset. I will be showing you that also. Okay, this alone is 2.5 GB. The very first thing is we need to run this command after downloading this. Okay, so if you see this requirements.txt, there are a lot of dependencies for this. So to install all these dependencies, the very first thing we need to trigger is this pip3 install -r requirements.txt. So what it does was, like, it will automatically download all the Python dependencies whatever mentioned here. Okay, so when downloading these dependencies, we will be getting an error on the Chroma DB. Okay, so this Chroma DB will throw an error, that is for sure, because I faced that issue. I will be showing you the solution for that also. Okay, so for that, actually what we need to do is, we need to, I will be putting this link in the comment of this video. Okay, so you can use this. So the very first thing is, like, you need to download this Visual C++ build tools. Okay, this is Visual Studio stuff. So we need to go there and we need to download this, download this. So then after that, this will open like a kind of an installer. Okay, so in that installer, we need to enable these two things. One is, like, in on that installer itself, there is a tab called individual components. So under that, we need to enable this x64 x86 build tools, as well as, like, what is the OS version we are using. According to that, we need to choose the SDK. So I am also using Windows 11, so I have chosen this Windows 11 SDK stuff. And then after that, it will take at least some 5 to 6 minutes to download everything, because this is also kind of like 2 to 3 GB stuff. So once it is done, then after that you just need to restart the system, and then again if you run the requirement stuff, pip3 install requirement.txt, then automatically this particular Chroma DB issue will be resolved. Okay, so this is very important, otherwise, like, our Chroma DB will not work. Chroma DB is nothing but, like, it is used to create a localized database by breaking our input file. Okay, so for that purpose only we will be running this Chroma DB. So this will be used in the program I will be showing you. And since we are using Windows machine, that's why we are having this dependencies to run the Visual C++ build tool. Okay, so if you are having Mac machine or Unix machine, so you might not face this issue, because this might be already part of the libraries. Okay, so then after that, like, here they are using a different set of test data set, so I am not going to use this test data set. What I am going to use is, like, so I have downloaded the complete Bible. Okay, so this is the complete Holy Bible. So this Holy Bible, I took it in a text format, so that it won't have any images, so I don't want to confuse my machine learning model, that's why. Okay, so I just took the complete text format of this text bible. So this text bible, I need to put it under this folder source documents. Okay, so this folder might have, previously it might have this one. Yeah, under this folder previously it might have this predefined state of the union stuff. Okay, so this is a very small text file. I want to play around with a big text file, that's why I took the complete bible. Okay, so that's all. Our setup is done. Then after that, the very first thing what we need to do is, like, now we have this text bible, that text is there. So the very first thing what we need to do is we need to ingest this particular text file into a kind of a database, local data store. Okay, so that local data store is nothing but we saw the Chroma DB, right? So that Chroma DB will segregate this particular text file into text analyzable stuff. Okay, so for that what we need to do is we need to run this command python space ingest.py. Okay, yeah, the very first time when you are running this ingestion, okay, you will be facing an error, and that error is on, okay, this is the GPT for all.py. Okay, I have asked the entire the site owner to commit this. Okay, so in that the existing library itself is already having an issue. So in that actually they were using something called model type. So this one we need to replace it like this object. Actually this model type object itself is not existing. So that's why I was getting an error when I was first time when I was running this code. So I just asked them to commit this change. So I think like when you are seeing this video, this might be committed. Otherwise what you need to do is you need to go to this gpt for all.py. The very first time when you are getting that error, if you just click on this, it will automatically take you to that particular library. Okay, so under that particular installation, you need to go and change this particular piece of code from this model type to get model from type, then this will solve this particular error. Okay, so I have fixed this in my local code, that's why I am not getting this error. Okay, so when I am ingesting this particular text bible, what it does was, you have noticed this, right? So we have it just created a folder called db. So under this db, okay, it has splitted all the complete bible into 11,212 chunks of text. Okay, so it is having something called 500 tokens. So that is based on this okay, let me show you this ingest.py. Okay, so what it does was, like, this is a pre-existing code only, I didn't do anything. So basically it is taking up this text file. Okay, so this text file, it is breaking it into, sorry, so this text file, it is breaking it into multiple pieces, like 500 characters per piece, likewise. So the entire bible is taking 11,212 set of pieces, and it is just breaking down everything, and it is storing it under local database named db. So under that db it is creating now, that's why it is telling, right, creating embedding may take some minutes. Okay, once it is done, again I will be continuing the video. So while it is creating the embeddings, okay, I will be telling you one more stuff. The thing is, like, these are all the language models we have downloaded. So this is the recommended model as per the repository in GitHub. So we are not going to use this particular model. So anyway, we have downloaded it, so we just placed it in the models dataset. Same way, we are going to use this we are only using this ggml mpt 7b instruct dataset. So this is nothing but we saw that, right? So this is the dataset. So this Mosaic MPT instruct is there, right? So this Mosaic MPT instruct dataset is the one which we are going to use it, because this is having at least some higher benchmark scores comparing to other datasets. So this particular model is is actually designed and fine-tuned by Mosaic ML company. So they have given it for our training stuff and all. So this is a pre-trained stuff, so we can use this data set for our experimental purposes. So this data set itself is around, so this data set itself is around 4.7 GB, and this particular data set is like 3.6 GB. So we are not going to use this particular data set, we are going to use only this MPT7B. So this MPT7B, when we are using this particular data set, okay, so the changes we need to do is we need to go to this env file. So in this env file we need to provide this model path as like mpt7b-instruct.bin. okay, so this will point this to this particular data set. And then there is one more change that I will tell you when we are running the private GPT stuff. Okay, so as of now it is saying that it have completed the embeddings, and it is saying that ingestion complete. You can now run private gpt.py to query your documents. Okay, so now we are going to run the private GPT. So before that I am just going into the private GPT code. So here if we see, this is how the private GPT is working. So I didn't disturb any of the code which is already present there. I have just changed a line. So this line is nothing but, this is our case actually. So this we are executing the GPT for all model. So inside that GPT for all model, we need to change this backend to MPT. Okay, because we are using this MPT dataset, MPT, right? So previously it was GPTJ. GPTJ is nothing but this one. It was pointing to this groovy. So I just commented out that code and I replaced this GPTJ to MPT, so that it will be pointing to this particular dataset, and based on that we can run our prompts against that. Okay, so let me run this private GPT and see like how it is working. The thing is, like, these are resource intensive, so in that sense, like how much ever higher configuration machines you have, based on that the running speed will differ. So for me, if we see, it is taking 5 GB of RAM alone, because this is the execution stuff, right? So it is taking 5 GB of RAM alone for this Python execution itself. Okay, so now my model is loaded. Okay, so it is mounting the model from this mpt-7b instruct. As we told, this is our model which we have downloaded. So it is just giving some statistics on this model, and now we have the model ready. We have ingested our database. So now we are good to go ahead and ask the questions. Okay, I'm going to ask some questions based on Bible. So what I'm going to ask is like who are the disciples of Jesus Christ. Okay, I just entered the query. Okay, anyway, it will take so much of memory to execute this, so this is a resource intensive stuff, because this is a machine learning model. So what it is doing is, this particular piece of code is referring this particular model. This model is nothing but this is having all the rules and regulations, like you need to search this particular question on top of this particular dataset. Likewise, so this dataset we already broke and we stored it in the DB, right? So in a layman term, I can say like this particular model is having all the rules and regulations to break down this question, and with that it will go and it will first try to understand this question, and then it will go and it will search in the text, and then again it will be returning back to us with the answers. Okay, so this is not the deeper explanation of this. The backend, there is a lot of AI stuff going on, so it means that like it is doing the semantic processing, okay, syntax classification, and then like it is breaking down this into words, tokens, and then again what it does is it is matching it with the databases, and then it is matching up with the tables and all. So every stuff here they have mentioned, right? So everything is having a purpose, so it is serving the purpose of everything, like LangChain, GPT for all, like everything is having some purposes. Okay, so based on this it is completely running. So the main purpose of showing this is like to make you understand like how the GPT stuff is working. Okay, so this generative pre-trained transformer, so how this generative pre-trained transformer is working. So to make this stuff to be clear, for that only we have come up with this example. Okay, so with this you can also try and you can also play around, so that you will get some idea on how this machine learning stuff is working, how the AI is working. Okay, so I know that this is a long video, and I hope that I have spoke about a lot of stuffs. Okay, okay, let me pass the, okay, the response came. Okay, see, it is responding back to us, like we have asked it who are all the disciples of Jesus Christ, and the answer it is telling is Simon Peter, Thomas Didymus, and then like Nathaniel and two other, Judas Iscariot, everyone, and it is showing like where and all are the references of this particular disciples. Okay, so here it is having the complete list: Simon, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthew, James, Lebus, whose surname was Thaddeus, Simon, Judas Iscariot. So everyone's name, it just went into the Bible and it studied and then it came back. So it's not as kind of a search engine, like this is like a kind of machine learning stuff which is applied there. Okay, so this is how the basic generative pretext transformation is working. So if you have any doubts, please leave a comment on this. Okay, see you in the next video. Please do share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell icon. Thank you so much. Bye.